The gun memorial. Let's go through the gun memorial, guys. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. The only channel where you can get updates from the gun memorial. The fatal shooting victims in the United States, all across the nation. This one hurts, man. Let's see. Let's get into it. So these are the featured ones. These are the ones that are getting the most traffic, the most comments, the most people viewing them. Jarita Evans, 23, Jackson, Mississippi. Now remember, I just did a video. Kennedy Hobbs, the young girl killed at the gas station on her way to a graduation party. Hit one if you remember that video. I just did that video this weekend. Here we are on the 5th, which was a couple days after that. This young lady, Jarita Evans, she didn't lose her life. Her life was taken. A Jackson woman was shot and killed around 1:30 a.m. Saturday, according to the Jackson Police Department. JPD says a Ford Escape drove by the 1100 block of Barbara Ann Drive, firing multiple rounds into a home while 23-year-old Jarita Evans was sitting outside. According to police, multiple rounds were recovered from a .223 assault rifle, a 223 caliber assault rifle, and one round from a 40 caliber assault rifle, 40 caliber weapon. So it was a 40 cal. They had a 40 cal and they had a assault rifle. Investigators believe the shooting is in retaliation to an incident earlier in the week where a juvenile robbed an individual of $300 on Oak Forest Drive. So this young lady had her life snatched sitting outside of her house because a juvenile, maybe a family member, but somebody who people, I guess, know to come to that house to look for, robbed somebody for $300. And usually when the streets talk, the streets talk. So I believe that. And is that petty? I don't know. It's petty to kill her, but is it petty to be incensed to want to shoot up someone's house when one of these little savages robs you? I don't know. I will say this, though. God, dog, sisters be getting murked out here in these Blackistanian streets. And this was a very cute, very pretty young lady. Very, very beautiful young lady. I don't know what she was into, but the story says that she was just sitting out front when the dudes retaliated. She's gone. She's dead. Damn, I can't even get into the new ones. I got these featured ones are just Justin Wallace, age 10. His nickname was Calculator. His nickname was Calculator. Little black boys, listen. Little black boys don't get that nickname often. Wow. This kid must have been brilliant. His nickname was Calculator. because of his love of math. And as you know, black kids are not doing well in math on average. You see the scores. I try to give you guys the scores as much as possible, keep you up to date on what we're doing academically across the nation, and it's not very good. This is one kid that was dispelling that myth. Not dispelling the myth, but he was breaking the mold, because it's not a myth. But he obviously studied, so he loved math, so he probably studied a lot. He's dead. Everybody loved him, and he loved helping his classmates. Because, of course, his classmates would probably need a lot of help, because there wouldn't be a lot of kids in his class that were very good at math. You don't see all this. You don't see all these comments usually in the gun memorial. A lot of people commented on this. Calculator. What could have happened to Calculator?
Tragedy in Queens as police investigate a shooting that left a 10-year-old boy dead and a man hurt. Sources tell CBS 2 that the injured man is the boy's uncle. CBS 2's Karen Dillon joins us live from the scene in Far Rockaway. Good morning, Karen. Cindy, we just spoke to the family members of that little boy who was shot and killed here in Queens. Police have identified him as 10-year-old Justin Wallace. And as I mentioned, we spoke to the family members earlier this morning. They tell me they are completely devastated by his death. They say right now they're just in shock. They're still really trying to process what happened just hours ago here in Far Rockaway. I want to give you a live look behind me right now so you can actually see the house in question where the shooting happened last night. Now, police say it took place around 9:30 last night. When officers arrived to this home near the corner of Beach 45th and Beach Channel Drive, they found a 10-year-old boy who'd been shot in the torso inside the home. They also found a 29-year-old man who was shot in the shoulder. Both were taken to the hospital to be treated for their injuries. Tragically, that 10-year-old child has since died. Once again, police have identified him as Justin Wallace, and they say he actually lived just down the street from where the shooting occurred. Meanwhile, sources tell us the 29-year-old victim is the boy's uncle. He is now in stable condition at the hospital. Now, Cindy, the circumstances that led up to this shooting or any possible motives remain unclear at this time, but we spoke to people who witnessed the aftermath of this shooting. Here's what they had to say.
He wasn't responsive. They was giving him CPR, it was very emotional to watch that.
Who else was around, or were there any family members or anybody else?
It was a lot of people, but the cops was, pushing everybody off the scene.
How did this boy get shot up there? Him and the uncle got shot up there. So, wanted for homicide. Do you know this guy? On June 5th, 2021, at approximately 9:33 p.m., in front of 342 Beach 45th Street in Queens, the suspect fired numerous rounds, striking a 29-year-old male and killing a 10-year-old boy. Wow, just pulled up. Got out. Boom, boom, boom. Shot up the house. Oh my God, it's random. He's just shooting into the house. Wow. Wow. Got a nice watch on, just walks down the street, able-bodied, runs up on the house, and just shoots indiscriminately into the house. Killed a little Calculator. It's enough to make you want to cry, knowing a little Calculator died like this, man. We don't have a lot of little Calculators, man. Fire broke out. Gun violence, right? Does this look like effing gun violence? Chilling surveillance video captured the moment a gunman fired at a Queens home Saturday amid a parking dispute. Oh my God. Over a parking dispute. Little calculator lost his life over a parking dispute. You starting to notice a trend here? How these people are losing their lives, these African Americans? It's not gun violence. It's arguments. It's retaliation. But in both cases I've showed you so far, the gun memorial, we didn't even get far. The father of the slain fifth grader, calculator's dad, Justin Wallace, told the Post on Sunday that his nephew, the 29-year-old, was opening the door and his son was standing just inside when the carnage occurred. Justin was fatally shot in the abdomen while the nephew, 29, took a non-life-threatening bullet to the shoulder. And it's going to be a bunch of black women, white liberals, clergymen, black pastors protesting if the U.S. Marshals try to arrest this guy and have to shoot him. Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, Van Jones, Bakari Sellers, all of them going to be whining like a little kid who was told he got to get in the back of the line at Chuck E. Cheese. When they're handing out pizza at a pizza party, if the cops kill this guy. But you won't hear nothing about Calculator. And most of them squares like Bakari Sellers and Van Jones got more in common with Calculator. Ain't that the crazy part? They got more in common with Calculator. Colin Kaepernick grew up in a great upper class white neighborhood. All white family. Great grades, great student, activities, clubs on the weekend, tutoring. He has so much more in common with Calculator than he does any of the thugs he represents. The shooting stemmed from a long simmering dispute between neighbors over their shared driveway. According to Albert Wallace, Calculator's dad, and law enforcement sources. So this is what it was about. Over a long simmering dispute between neighbors over their shared driveway. You can't share nothing with Brooke, man. Man, don't ask me for nothing. Don't ask me for a cigarette. I won't ask you for a cigarette. I won't ask you for a light. I don't want nothing from you people of the sun. And don't ask me for anything. No. We're not getting in on entanglements. We're not getting tangled up in nothing. No. You stay there and I stay here. The suspect was wearing dark pants, a multicolored sweatshirt with the hood up over his head, and a face mask when he fired his weapon. The video shows the footage also includes what appears to be a blue SUV or van driving on the road. The NYPD released the video as it hunts for the suspect. Now, this guy who probably did this probably isn't the guy who lives at the house. It's probably a friend or a fellow gang member or a homie of the guy who lived at the house. And when he gets caught, he'll have to, like, he's gonna get at least 15, 20 years. Because they're gonna say he shot into the building. They're not gonna give him. They're very lenient. The criminal justice system that needs so much reform is very lenient to criminals. Extremely lenient. That's why every time when they find a guy that he's gonna be on parole or probation, or he's gonna have a history of, as I say, rap sheet longer than a CVS receipt. So he'll get some time, but however much time he gets, it'll be over something that didn't directly affect him. Because if it was the people who lived there, they would just have already arrested them. All right, let's get into this gun memorial. Oh my God. You would literally think this was the gun memorial for black people. This is the gun memorial for the whole country. How did this Becky died? Murder, suicide. Jesus Christ. They might as well start calling this the Black Gun Memorial. Because everybody on the gun memorial in this country is black. Jesus Christ. Now, do you guys believe me? Some of you guys questioned when I said 1350 is not accurate anymore. If you don't know what 1350 is something that, it means 13% of the population commits 50% of the murder. That was a big, I guess, white supremacist or Republican talking point. That 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the murder. And I told you that with the spike since 2020 and the research I've done into the numbers, what's going on in America, I say that it's 80, 13%, and now 12%, because blacks are now 12%, according to the new census. 12% of the population commits 80% of the murder. And we're one of the only channels that talks about it. Which is sad. I mean, that's really sad. Jesus Christ. 12% of the population commits 80% of the murder. Let that sink in. And just think about it. Last year, 17,985 police departments killed a total of 14 unarmed black men. How does that happen? They should be getting a Medal of Honor. These police departments, the U.S. Police Department, should be commended. 17,985 departments. Jurisdictions, little cities, towns, each have their own police department. 17,985 killed a total of 14 unarmed black men. And what did that get them? It got their funding taken, got their reputation ruined, got them just completely just castigated, and their entire just dragged through the mud. When really, if you think about it, a community that commits this much murder and gun violence, because we can call it gun violence because we're only talking about the group that does it, for 17,985 departments to only kill 14 of them unarmed in the whole year, including the ones that like beat them up and take their tasers and shoot them with it. That's remarkable. See what happened to this sister, Shaniqua. Oh, she was killed in the mass shooting. This is the girl that was killed in the mass shooting. This is the one I showed you the other day. Shaniqua was killed. She's a beautiful young lady. Wow. Finally an Asian. Whew. It only took scrolling through hundreds and hundreds of deaths to find an Asian. The reason I'm noting that is because we hear about Asian attacks all the time. And I tell you guys, that's not really like what's happening. Asian people may get bonked over the side of their head in New York or something, or San Francisco, or robbed, but they not getting killed. Black people are the ones getting killed in this country. "15-year-old anti-violence rally planned after 15-year-old shot in Grand Rapids, Michigan." Yikes. And the really messed up part is how few of these people are thugs. How few of these people are thugs. How few of them are thugs and gang members. Many of them just caught the crossfire. Get in the comment section, man. Like, subscribe, donate. Peace. I'm out.